Welcome everyone. I am so excited that you're here today. Type in the comments where you're watching from. I'd love to see how many people are on and where you guys are watching from. So today we are going to be making some different petals. We have the Dean Michael petal. I think everybody is well aware of this one. This was the original, I believe. We have a variant of the Dean Michael. Okay, sorry about that. This is the dragon petal. We're going to be making this one today. And those are all the examples that I have of just petals. But not using this mesh, we're going to make the pinwheel petal. Using this mesh, we're going to make the lolly petal. And the 3D reverse 3D daisy petal that we're going to make. So let's see, which one do we want to start with? And I may even have a surprise for you at the end. So there's a couple ways that you can make, actually there's many different ways that you can make the Dean Michael petal. This in particular, how I managed to get this was I cut this 10 by 20. I folded it in half, and then with my rotary cutter, I cut down the center. It helps to make a cleaner edge. And the way that you make the Dean Michael is actually pretty easy. Once you have your triangle, whether you took a 10 by 10 and you folded it corner to corner, or you have it this way, you are just going to pinch it in the middle, find your middle, pinch it in the middle, and then you want to pinch, pinch, pinch 3 times. I like to flip it around, and then you're gonna go pinch, pinch, pinch 3 times. I'm gonna put a 4-inch zip tie on this, and I like to bring that nub to the back. And then just take your fingers underneath and we'll cut this zip tie off. And normally I would also cut off some excess here, but we're not going to worry about that right now because I didn't bring my multi-cutter tool over. But there is the regular Dean Michael petal. Okay, we'll do that one more time. Actually, maybe a couple more times. Now I have another one that's folded this way. Okay, so you have your triangle. You want to turn it to the side. If you're right-handed, you want to keep your point to the left. Find your middle. Pinch it in the middle. And then you're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Get your fingers underneath there and fan that out. That one didn't turn out so great, but there's your Dean and Michael. Yeah, that one didn't turn out so great. I lost my grip. All right, let's do one more like that. This is my mesh from my Misfit bin, by the way. Very nice to actually have a use for it. So put your hand here at the point, find your center first, pinch it in the center, and then you're gonna 1, 2, 3 pinches, staying across the bottom. 1, 2, 3 pinches. And then just get your fingers in under there and just form that out. And there's your Dean Michael again. Any questions on the Dean Michael? Okay, so the next one that I'm going to show you is the Pinwheel petal. Now, this is just a fine weave mesh with some metallic foil going through it. It's kind of a, a rose gold color. Right now, it is curl side down. We want this curl side up. And we're always going to have our finished edge on the top left and the bottom right. That way, every single one of your petals turns out the same. What did I say we were making? I think I said the lolly petal. So you're going to bring your top corner down. No, pinwheel. Sorry. There's my ADHD. I can keep track of what I'm doing. Gotta love it. This is not a perfect 10 by 10, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be. So you fold this in half, corner to corner. Again, if it's not perfect, it does not need to be. Okay, now you have your diamond, your triangle shape. We're going to find the center. We're not going to stretch, but we are going to find the center. And we're going to take the right side and we're going to fold it straight down the center. Okay, just like that. Just take your right side and fold it down the center. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab it and we're going to flip it over. And most of the time through your mesh, you can see the line. So now we're going to take this one, this side, and do the same exact thing. And then we're going to turn it. Yes, they overlap just a little bit, and that's okay. We're going to pinch about 3 inches, about 2.5 inches up from the bottom of your tails there. Pinch it in the center first, then grab in that side and grab in this side. Having zip tie issues. And there is your pinwheel petal. You can kind of see how it gets that name. I love this mesh too. It's so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna save the other piece of that for the lolly petal. And I'm gonna take a piece of wide stripe mesh here that I have, and we're gonna do the pinwheel one more time. So we've got top left, bottom right. We're gonna bring the top corner down to the bottom corner. Actually, I take this back. This is fabric mesh, not wide stripe. You're gonna find your center, and you're gonna take your right and fold it straight down the middle. See? Just straight down the center. And then we're gonna grab it and we're gonna flip it. And we're gonna take this side and we're gonna fold it down the center. And we're gonna turn it. And we're gonna come about 3 inches up. And we're gonna pinch in the middle and then bring in our sides. I don't know how my zip tie went through a piece of the mesh. That has never happened to me before. First time for everything, I guess. And there you have your pinwheel petal again. Pinwheel's a pretty easy petal to make, I think. Okay. Now, and I can swing back around to any of the petals if you guys want to see them again, no worries. But I want to show you the variant on the Dean Michael. I know you're looking at this piece of mesh thinking, oh my God, it's so frayed. And it is, but that's actually okay. The only thing I might do is clip this bit off right up here. Okay, so this should be 16. Well, it was before it frayed so much. With the curl side up, our factory edges are going to be top and bottom this time. You're going to take this top corner and you're going to fold it down like this. So you've got about 3 inches here and 3 inches here. And then just fold this down, turn it this way, and you're going to take this side and flip it over, lining up your edges. Don't worry about any of this because you're not even going to see it. And then you're just going to scrunch from one end to the other. And there is the variant on the Dean Michael. Now you can also scrunch the same way that I did the regular Dean Michael, and I'll show you how to do that. I wish I had scissors. That's a lot of fray. Okay. Show this to you with the orange that's really messy. I think this was the last piece on the roll. Okay, so we're going to take the top corner and bring it down, giving us about 3 inches here and down here. Okay, and we're going to fold this over, lining up our edges. And then turn it around with the point towards your left. And then we can scrunch in the middle. 1, 2. Scrunch in the middle. And there is your variant. So this back here That's your back. You're not going to see that. And that's partly why we use a poly burlap or a wide stripe mesh or any heavier mesh, because the really thin deco mesh, you can see this and you don't want to be able to see that. So make sure if you're going to make this petal that you definitely use a heavier, thicker mesh. Okay, so there is the variant of the Dean Michael. Oh, let's see. What do we want to do next? Let's try a dragon petal with the poly burlap. Okay, so top left, bottom right. Make your triangle. You're gonna fold this over and make a smaller triangle, or the Star Trek Voyager. Then you're gonna turn your point towards your left. If you're left-handed, you'll turn it to the right. Turn it to the left. Now I put my hand here and I hold that down. I put my thumb here and I put my pointer and my middle fingers down here, and I push down ever so gently and swoop them in to meet each other. And then you have what looks like a shoe, which I'm going to figure out how to make this a petal one of these days. Right here in the center, you're going to push this down. Then you're going to grab it and pinch it right here, and then bring in your, fold up your sides. Oh, I just made the Star Trek petal. My bad. I meant to do the dragon, but that's okay. Star Trek is gorgeous as well. I love the Star Trek petal. You can use it this way or this way. I've done both. This usually is my favorite way. Okay. Now back to the dragon petal. You're gonna fold it one more time in half, trying to line up the sides. Now I will say with the wide stripe, this does tend to work better. You wanna kind of get your finger in there, make sure that the edges are matching up to each other, and get yourself a point and just kind of pull on that. Because the nice thing is these they have memory. So if you put clips on them, which I always put a clip on the point of my dragon and leave it there, it will hold that shape. And then you're only going to go up 2 inches, scrunch it, put a zip tie on it. And I really do believe that this petal works better with wide stripe mesh or the foil, the deluxe wide stripe foil mesh. Okay, so there is your dragon petal. So the more you pull, the more bow you get here to make it look like a dragon claw. So there's our dragon petal. Let me see if I have a piece of wide stripe that I can use here real quick. I do, but I need to cut it. Since I'm not wood burning, I'm gonna take this down. Okay, let's line that up. We're gonna cut it to 10.5 because this is 10.5 by 10. It's 10.5 inch wide. Okay, so curl side up, diamond shape, top left, bottom right. Every dragon petal will come out exactly the same as long as you put your finished edges in the top left and bottom right positions. Okay, we're gonna fold that top corner down to the bottom, making a diamond shape, or keep calling it that. It's a triangle, Susan. It's a triangle. Okay, then we're going to fold this over, line up the edges, and we have a Star Trek ship. And we're going to fold it again, lining up this outer edge here, pulling on the point. See how you see how it's already, just with a pull, this is already bowing so much more that I mean, I still put a clip on, but you really don't even have to with this wide stripe. And then we're gonna measure out 2 inches. Hope I make a dragon that needs green wide stripe mesh. Okay. And you can see in comparison, the wide stripe just makes a better dragon petal. So I love my poly burlap, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to the dragon petal, I'm always going to use the wide stripe mesh or the foil, the deluxe foil. Okay, let's see. What else do we have to make here? We need to do the lolly petal. Now, this extremely frayed piece of mesh from the end of the roll was from making that lolly petal wreath. So I thought, why not? Let's try and see if I can make this work, because none of the edges are going to be seen, so it shouldn't matter. It's just a matter of being able to manipulate the mesh properly. So we're going to fold top corner to bottom corner, finished edge top left and bottom right as usual. Okay, and we're going to turn this, and then you can pinch in the center and then bring in your sides. It really doesn't matter. You can scrunch from one side to the other, same result. But it's the start of the rose petal, I think, because you get that poofy right there. But what we're going to do is you have all this out here about 1.5 inches to 2 inches out from where it gathered in the center here. You're going to grab the mesh and you're going to walk it into the side. Same thing here. You're going to walk that into the side to meet the center. And then when you lift it up, we're going to push that back and gather it and kind of form it. Then you have your lolly petal. This is one of my favorite petals to make. It's a beautiful petal, especially when you get these swirled mesh going. Okay, I don't know that I've ever made a lolly with poly burlap, but we're going to try it. Okay, so we're top left, bottom right for our finished edges. We're going to bring top corner down to the bottom corner. We're going to scrunch across the center there. And then we're going to bring in the side. Actually, there's another way you can do this too. Sorry, let me show it to you. You can pinch it right there and bring that in. and then bring in the rest of the side. It's going to give you an extra, I don't even know what to call these. Sorry, I'm going to spin that around. Bring that pinch side in, and then bring the rest of it in. And now you can see you have the pinching and the gathering in the center, plus an extra gather here on each side. So there's another take on the lolly. There's so many ways that you can do the lolly petal. You can roll it back and bring it in. You can roll it inward and bring it in. I mean, there's so many different ways. You can make them more squared, more round, more scooped. There's just so many different ways that you can make a lolly petal. And I've shown you 3, technically, if you count this one with the roll in, which is, again, also very, very pretty. And I think I'll show you the lolly one more time the way I usually make it. It's always nice to be able to do varying ways of making a petal, but it's nice to be able to master one way. Okay, we're going to try it with this fine weave mesh. Finished edges. Top right, top left, bottom right, top corner to bottom corner. Okay, turn that around. You want to find your middle in between the point and the top, and that's where you want to gather your mesh. Now this fine weave is a little thicker, stiffer even. Okay, so grabbing about 1 inch or 2 out, you're going to bring the side in. About 1 inch or 2 out, you're going to bring the side in. I don't know how well this mesh is going to work. Let's see. Oh, not too bad. It's got a really big scoop on it. But still, it looks kind of cute. It looks kind of neat. So there is the lolly petal with the fine weave deco mesh. Is there any particular petal that anybody would want to see? I do have a surprise petal for you. But that'll be at the end. Let's see. What do we have left? The 3D daisy petal. All right. I have a piece of breeze mesh here that I'm going to use for starters. And I have another piece I need to cut. Okay, so finished edge, top left, bottom right. What we're going to do is we're going to bring the top corner down to the bottom corner, but just so that we can find our center. Okay, right here's our center. We're going to fold the bottom corner up to that center. And we're going to bring the top corner down to that center, just barely overlapping. Okay, now you are going to need a couple clips for this one just to kind of help you to keep it stationary. And you're also going to need a zip tie to close it, a zip tie and a bead to put on it. Next, we're going to fold this end in about 1 inch, not all the way to the center. And right here, we're going to put a clip. And we're going to do the same thing with this side here. We're going to fold it in. And we're going to clip it down there. That way when I let go of it, it's okay. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay, then what I'm going to do is we're going to line the point up. I have mine lined up at the 18. And we're going to count back 8 inches, which brings us, brings me to the 10. And we're going to pinch it right there. You're going to take your beaded zip tie, getting that around to the back. No, my bad, it turned on me. My bead turned on me. Okay, it's not gonna be perfect. My bead shifted on me, but that's okay. And then we're going to clip this off. And then we're going to fold this down and match our ends together. Well, almost, because you don't want your bead down too far. That's a really big bead for this, but that's okay, that's all I had. Okay, so you want to pull that and get rid of your clips at this point. And then you're going to gather it together about 3 inches up from the bottom. And if you do that every time, then every one of your petals will be the same shape and same length. And you can play with it. Not going to get much move there, but there is your 3D daisy petal. Your reverse 3D daisy petal. All right, let's do that again. Let me just give this a cut at the 10. Okay, diamond shape, top left, bottom right for our finished edges, top corner to bottom corner. Nope, yeah, sorry. Brain fart. Find your center and bring the top corner into the center, bring the bottom corner into the center, overlapping just slightly. And we're going to fold the top in about 1 inch. And we'll go ahead and put a clip down here. And then we're going to fold this side in about 1 inch. Put a clip down there. Okay. I'm going to line my tip at the 18. Let me get another bead and zip tie ready. I know you've seen the petals done much different than this, but this is kind of an easier way, especially getting the zip tie and that on. Okay, so we're lined up to the 18. We're going to gather at the 10, so that's 8 inches. Okay, sorry, that's better. It's more lined up this time. Okay, and we're going to fold this over, get rid of those clips. Just gonna kind of keep it all together. And then 1, 2, 3. And you can use rubber bands too. I tend to like the zip ties because it gives me a nub, and that nub really helps to hold it in place when you place it on your frame. Whether you're using a UITC board, a wire frame, it doesn't matter. It does come in kind of handy to have that. So there is the reverse 3D daisy petal. Any questions thus far? Any special requests for my one viewer? At least that's what my Mac says. I'm going to show you how I do my cruffle. I've had a lot of people ask me how I do my cruffle. Because this is so curly, I am going to use something for some weight. So what I do is I fold it, roll it under with my fingers into a tight curl. That's 1.5. That's 2. Because my mesh isn't very long, I'm only going to go 2. And then we'll put a clip in the center. Spin that around. And I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to fold that under, roll that a couple of times. Then we're going to put our thumbs down here in the center, and we're just going to gather the mesh. I basically use my pointer and middle finger to walk me to the other side, using my pinky and ring to keep the mesh out so that it's not gathering inward on you. And there is a small cruffle. My cruffles are usually much, much longer, but there is a small cruffle with some really cool curls. All right, now, is there any that you guys want to see again? Anything you'd like to see again, let me know in the comments. All right, here comes the surprise petal. The peekaboo petal. This is one of my favorites. You've seen I've made a couple like this now. Excuse me. Choking. Okay, top left, bottom right for our finished edges. We're gonna go top corner to bottom corner, or top corner to bottom corner. It depends what you want your peekaboo color to be and what you want your primary color to be. Doing it this way, our primary is going to be the burgundy and our peekaboo will be the white. So we're just going to gather across the center there again. Now this time we're going to put a zip tie. Now this is very thick and it's not easy to hold. I probably should have grabbed some of my 6-inch zip ties, but we'll have to make this work. Maybe. There we go. Just get that on there nice and snug. Okay, so then this is what you're left with. Okay, now this is the part where we're going to lift that up, and then we're going to bring our sides down, kind of like the lolly petal. And there you have the peekaboo petal. Definitely should have brought some 6-inchers. Note to self, 6-inch zip ties for next live. But there is your lolly petal, or your peekaboo, sorry, peekaboo petal. I got 2 more pieces, so we can actually do this 2 more times. We'll do it once with white as the primary and burgundy as the peekaboo color. Okay, top left, bottom right, top corner to bottom. Turn that over, find your middle, gather across, get your zip tie. Somehow I did this the same. But that's okay. We'll do it the other way next time. And there is your peekaboo. Actually, we use the same. No, we can't. I already zip tied it. That's all right. Do it this way. Okay. Gather across the middle. Get your zip tie in there. Okay, now we did it right. And you're just going to bring the sides down. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You just bring the sides down, meet with that center, form your petal, and there you go. That is your peekaboo petal. Okay. I love these petals. They are just so pretty. And they're so easy to make. All right, I got a couple long pieces. Left. How long is this? 19. I don't know why. I think it might have supposed to have been 20, but it's not quite 20. It's 20. It is 20. So here is the other way of doing that Dean Michael. Because there's so many ways. You can just do a single 10 by 10 piece that once it's folded, the only problem is the edges at the tip separate, so it's not solid. You can cut your mesh 10 by 11 and then wood burn at the 10-inch mark so that it's heat sealed, or you can do it this way. Now, this one is folded, but this one is two different pieces. So we're going to lay them together. So there's no fold and there's no heat seal here. Okay, just make sure that this tip is lined up. You can even put a clip up there if you want. This white stripe loves to stick to itself. Okay. And then right down from the center, we're going to pinch, 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 and pinch, 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 and pinch. So there's 3 pinches on both sides. Get your fingers up in there. And there you have, I zip tied that a little crooked, but there's your deep Michael. Wow, that's crooked. My bad. Now we can do it with this one. Couldn't get that to pinch. 1, 2, 3. Flip it around. Go 1, 2, 3. Put your hands under there and smooth that out. And aside from the crookedness, God, that's crooked. The tips are staying lined up, and that is one nice thing about the wide stripe. It will stay a little bit more lined up for you than even the poly burlap. But as you can see, the folded, one with the fold in it, of course, is going to stay lined up better. Because you can see over here, the edges aren't completely lined up. Yeah, I can't fix that. That petal's so bad. Look at this one. Don't look at that one. Look at this one. It's much better. And then you would just go ahead and put that on the frame. All right, I think that about wraps it up for today. If what was your favorite petal? Comment below, or make a comment. Let me know what your favorite petal was to learn. Did you already know it? Did you learn anything new? I'd be very interested to know. And it was amazing having everybody here. I hope I see everybody again next time. And if you missed this live, it will be on YouTube later today. Remember to please like, share, and subscribe so that you know when I'll be posting new videos. All right, everybody. Thanks. Have a great day.